Hello and welcome to the last lesson of the course. As you can see here, I created some prop objects for this scene. You can do this too. For example, mountains, dolphins, a sun, some clouds, rain. In my case, I created some icebergs, some simple clouds on the sky, and a sun or a moon. I haven't decided yet. And here, some simple birds too. This is just to make the scene feel more lively, but you can decide to work only on the ship. That's okay too. So, as I told you, we are going to apply some simple and flat colors. Then we are going to export the model in FBX format to upload it to a platform such as Sketchfab later on. First, we need to generate the materials. Oh, before continuing, notice that I placed all the objects in two groups. One for the ship, this one, and one for the scene elements, like the clouds, the sea, and everything else. Double-click here to create a material. Now turn off the scene so that we can focus on the ship. In case you don't know how to apply a material, I'm going to explain it. If you know how to do it, then begin applying the colors. The process will be very simple. You'll see how to apply colors and how to apply more than one material to the same object. Double-click on the material to open the editor. Now choose a color for the ship by using the HSV sliders. The color is up to you, but try to choose colors that are good for your scene. Now drag and drop the material to the ship to apply it to the main shape. Then we will need to manually select the polygons that will have a different color. For example, let's have this extruded part with a different color. Create a new material and select a darker tone. Now let's select the extruded part. Remember that you can use the loop selection tool to do it. If you want to add more polygons to the selection, hold Shift and click on them. Okay, I have selected all these extruded parts. Now drag and drop the material that we had just created to the selection. You'll see a small triangular icon, which is parented to the material. If you click on the material, you'll see that the name of the triangular icon appears next to selection. So this is what we can do for the other parts of the ship. I have just noticed that I have left these two polygons by accident, so I'm going to undo this by pressing Ctrl+C, and I'm going to add these to the selection. You just have to keep working like this carefully. If I wanted the bottom part to have a different material, first I would need to create it. Then I would need to select all the polygons which will have this material applied to. There will be elements that will only need one material, so the process will be much easier for those ones. Now I grab the material and drop it. I think you get the idea now. We don't need to complicate things. In this course, we focused more on modeling the ship. But I'd like you to generate some materials with different colors and apply them to the elements on the scene. Work carefully and one element at a time. For those elements that seem more complex, like the sea, I'll explain to you how to do it, so don't worry. I'll speed up the video while I'm working on this. I'll be just creating some materials with different colors and applying them to the elements on the scene. The result and the overall look will depend on how meticulous you are and the time you spend doing this. In the case of some elements, like these windows, you'll work faster if you just do one, paint it, and then duplicate it instead of repeating the painting process several times. Okay, it's time to color the sea. We'll use a more elaborated material than the ones we have done so far. These were simply the same material with a different color each. So let's create a new material. Go to the Color tab and then click on the arrow next to Texture. Click on Layer. Click on Shader and then go to Surfaces, Water. Click on this icon next to Water. In this gradient, we'll choose two different tones of blue. This is the first one. And this is the second one. The tones are up to you. They can be changed later on when we upload the model to the internet. Now, to add more volume to the material, let's check the normal box. Click on the arrow next to Texture and choose Layer. Click here and then go to Shader, Surfaces, Water. Now go to Shader, Effects, Normalizer. We want to turn this texture into a normal map. In this list, we need to choose Screen. See the difference? Now this texture is a normal map, which will give more volume to the sea. Uncheck the reflectance box. Nothing else. This is done. Now grab the material and drop it into the sea. Okay, we have finished the scene. Open both groups. We need to be careful with the flags. As you can see here, we have applied the material to the clothed surface, but we need to apply it to the planes. Select all the elements and make them editable. Now right-click and choose Connect Objects and Delete. Alright, this will unite all elements into a single object. We could save the project as it is and export it, or we could just get the color map. Let's do it in a simple way. Select the whole scene, and then go to Objects, Bake Object. You'll see a dialog box where you can choose which maps to export. As we want to export the color map, we don't need to check any of the boxes. Here you can choose the size of the exported normal map. If it's big, it will take more time to process, so let's leave it like this. 512 by 512. Let's choose the JPEG format, and down here, if you want to change the path, you can do it. To export, just click Bake. Here it is. Cinema 4D makes this very simple. If we wanted a more thorough result, we will have to do it manually, but this is fine too. We can leave this scene without deleting it because that way we can change the materials anytime. The scene that we will export is the first one, so select it and then go to File, Export, FBX. As we have already exported the texture, when we open the scene in Sketchfab, it will have it applied. For a better result, we could have chosen a bigger size or made the UV maps manually, but this is fine. Okay, I'm going to show you how this will look in Sketchfab so that you can see the potential this platform has with 3D models. Here, the scene doesn't look very impressive, but you will see. This is the Sketchfab homepage, and this is the URL. To upload models to this page, you need to register for free. Once you log in, click Upload and then select the file on the dialog box. As it is usual on these platforms, it will ask us for a name, a description, and some tags. This is the scene in Sketchfab. One of the advantages of using this platform is that you can look at the scene in a 3D environment. You can move the light source and even inspect the elements to see which textures they have. The arrangement and the filters that you will use is up to you. You will find them in 3D settings. Try some of them and see the results for yourself. Here is another example. It's the same ship, but the clouds are transparent. You can also generate a render in Cinema 4D after placing some lights. This is another example. It's the same ship again, but I have created a mountain and a lighthouse to have a night setting of the scene. As I told you before, in Sketchfab you can move the light source however you want. It's a simple process, and the results can be very interesting. The mood on this one is totally different from the daylight scene we saw at first, right? So, in this course, we have seen how to model a ship and also how to color it using simple flat colors. We have also exported it in FBX format and uploaded it to Sketchfab to generate different settings for this scene. I hope you liked the course. Give it a try and see you next time. Oh, and don't forget to upload your project in the project section. Thank you and see you next time.